What's yo? What is going on, people? What is going on? You are now tuning in to the Heavy Hitters Live, baby. Let's go. Well. I don't know what it is about that beat, but I almost flew out my chair. But what's going on, people? What is going on, people, man? It is your weekly episode of the Heavy Hitters, as in the six-man K-Styles. We got the Mad Scientist, Mad Mike Sports. We got the Minister to the Far, Jew Talk Sports. We got the Summer Hill Nightmare. We got the Don in here with us, and we have a very special
showtime,
guest.
Folks.
Yeah, boy. And we have a special guest tonight on the Heavy Hitters. My brother, I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself to the people, man.
Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm King, man. I'm a Detroit Lions fan here in Michigan. And, man, I'm ready to talk about this upcoming weekend.
All right. Hey, like I said, if y'all get a chance to, y'all make sure you follow King with a subscribe and show him some love. Say that the Heavy Hitter sent you over there. And if you don't, we're going to bring Joey Harrington out of retirement. He going to haunt everybody in this motherfucking panel.
Not Joey Harrington.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be good. I'll be good.
Yeah. Well, we're going to try to be good over here. So let's go ahead and shout the people out tuning in. We got YMOF Jamal. We got Engine number 9. ATL Leo. Brian Peoples. Nathan Floyd. Jay Diaz. Pat Norris. Keyshawn Vlad. Bubba Gump. Ultra Shadow. We got the therapists in the building. Harvey Freeman. Bubba Gump. Kenneth Lewis. And Josh Pilland. All right. Let's go ahead and get this thing off the bat, man. As you already know, man, this is the Falcons versus the Lions Week 3 matchup. Last time we seen these guys was preseason last year. Since we got our special guest King here, man, I want you to give us your thoughts on this upcoming matchup. What do you like as far as what y'all have in this matchup?
I think it's gonna be a good one, man. Y'all are good in some areas that we tend to struggle with, but at the same time, we're good in some areas that you guys tend to struggle in. So you guys got a running back over there that a lot of us Lions fans was high on, being Bijan Robinson. And listen, man, we got Gibbs. We picked them at 12. It's a lot of flack. So I expect them to unleash Gibbs this week because they've been kind of holding back. You guys are playing some great football. You just beat Green Bay, one of our arch enemies that we getting ready to stump next week. So I think it should be interesting, man. Like I said, we took a tough loss to the Seahawks by a touchdown in overtime. So I think the Lions they're going to try to find a way to get back on the right track. Now we got some injuries. We do got some injuries, some tough injuries. So we'll see how they respond, man. But it's gonna be a good game, man, because y'all playing some real good football. And I think we both have some pretty young teams that's trying to build and get better and make their way. So I think it's a lot of hunger in this game, and I think that's gonna come out.
All right. What you got, Don?
You forgot to mention that y'all beat the reigning Super Bowl champions.
Yeah.
In Kansas City, and that was a good game. All right.
Yeah.
I get it that I know Travis Kelce didn't play. I get it. I know Matt might looking at me crazy.
I'm just about to say, how do you feel about actually beating no Travis Kelce and no Chris Jones led team? Does that really count? No, Damn it, I'm gonna ask you the question. I'm asking
So
King.
listen, I'm even keel across the board. I'm even keel because there's many times in many years, many years where Lions were missing their star players and they lost. Nobody gave them no sympathy. So I don't get nobody's sympathy. It's the NFL. People don't play. You know, people
Next
get
man up.
injured. People get it's next man up mentality. It's pretty much. If I was that way, I would be on here whining about the injuries we got right now. But right now, it's next man up. You know, so I mean that's the way football goes.
We didn't have Troy Anderson last Sunday, and we still won.
Yeah,
So and that's our starting inside linebackers.
yeah.
So yeah, but then y'all lost to Seattle, and like that's a playoff. That was just a playoff team too. So hey,
It was supposed to be a revenge game because they the ones that actually put us out the playoffs last year.
yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So, but like I said, one of the biggest problems was the middle of our D line right now is just not great. And Gino was able to move around in that pocket and get loose, and we just couldn't do nothing about it. So, plus the turnovers we had was uncharacteristic from some of them guys. But like I said, man, it's gonna be interesting to see us try to contain B. John, man. Y'all got a thunder and lightning connection over there, something like we got, but us missing Montgomery is huge. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's gonna be interesting.
Okay. Hey, Jude, man, what you got on this matchup, man? What's your takes on this matchup?
So do you want to give me to give my key to the victory, or do you want me to just go ahead and give a slight breakdown?
I about to say you could do both, man.
Okay.
Whichever way you want to go.
So first, I'll give my slight breakdown. So correct me if I'm wrong, King. Gardner Johnson is hurt, correct? He's not
Yeah,
playing.
he's out.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna start there. That's a huge blow for you guys. Like you said, it's next man up mentality. But he was one of those guys when I first pulled out, looked at the schedule. I was like, okay, Aiden Hutchinson on the back end. You got Gardner Johnson, who we're very familiar with here in Atlanta because he was a former New Orleans Saint, or Ain't. So we're really familiar with him, but he's a playmaker. He led the league in interceptions last year with the Philadelphia Eagles. And that was one of the reasons why I thought the Eagles would take a step back is because of Gardner Johnson. So with y'all missing him on that back end, I know you guys are really young. Y'all got Witherspoon out of Illinois, if I'm not mistaken, in the draft.
No, no. We actually got Brian Branch.
Oh, Brian Branch. Okay,
Plus,
but
plus
did he
Tracy
get hurt as
Walker is
well?
back. Huh?
Did he get hurt as well?
No, Brian Branch is good. We got him and
Okay.
Tracy Walker filling in for CJ.
Got you. So, I mean, in this game, I really think it's going to come down to Aiden Hutchinson. He's that guy on that
Yes.
defensive line that in that first game, as Don was talking about, he was all over Pat Mahomes in that first game. So he's one of those guys in this game that I think you're going to see us chipping him. You're going to see us doing everything we can to mass protect to make sure he doesn't affect the game. But I really feel like you guys with those injuries, y'all going to really, with Gardner Johnson being out, I think that back end is where you guys are going to kind of struggle. And then I know you guys got Jack Campbell at that linebacker position that's been kind of rotating in as well. So I think we can kind of take advantage of you guys there. But my key to victory is going to be to get after y'all quarterback in Jared Goff. I think he's better than a lot of people give him credit for, but I know he's one of those guys that can get rattled. If you get pressure on him early and often, I think in this game we can kind of rattle him. But I did watch some of the highlights and stuff for y'all last game against Seattle, and he threw the ball, all around the field. And you guys got some weapons on that offense, so you guys can put up points in the passing game. So without you guys having Montgomery, I expect you guys to kind of go heavy pass. And with Josh Reynolds and some of the guys that you guys got, Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's a guy that I'm really, big on because he plays in the slot and you guys move him around. And to me, he's one of those guys that's a really good route runner. So to me, I think in this game, you're going to have to use AJ Terrell to kind of shadow him a little bit because to me, he's the guy that could be the X factor for you guys as far as making big plays in the passing game. To me, he's y'all X factor in this game. But I really think we're going to have to get pressure on Jared Goff. If we can pressure him, I think in this game we can force a couple turnovers, but he's been looking good so far this year. As far as in the passing game, from what I seen last week, you guys had a lot of explosive plays in the passing game. So I really feel like if you looked at our last game against Green Bay, one of our Achilles heels was we were, trying to stop the run so much that we had a couple penalties as far as pass interference because our guys kind of panicked when the ball was out there in the air. And I know you guys, our team that'll air it out. If your guys see weakness, if you smell blood in the water, you guys are going to try to hit us deep. So in this game, I hope that we kind of aware of those trick plays because early in the game, I think Green Bay on their first drive did like a flea flicker, caught us off guard. We was coming downhill, and they had like 2 penalties that were like 40, 50-yard penalties just on the deep pass. So in this game, I think that's where you guys going to have a little bit of an advantage. If we can't pressure Jared Goff because of that good offensive line you guys have, that's why I could see things kind of getting a little sketchy. But other than that, I think those injuries are going to really play a huge factor because you guys are injured and we're kind of getting healthy at this point. We got CP that I don't know if will play in this game, and we got Jeff Okudah, 2 of the guys that they've been trying to ramp up. So if those guys play in this game, I could see us kind of having an advantage in the depth category.
Spaghetti. Yeah. I knew that would get your reaction, man.
Okudah, listen, man. I was an Okudah fan while he was here. You know what I'm saying? I was rooting for him. He suffered some injuries at first, and he came back, man, and he was doing well. So I was a fan of Okudah. But in training camp, I watched Okudah get whooped. I'm not worried about Okudah. I'm not worried about it. Because I had a close-up to watch him in training camp. I go to the Lions training camp every year. And, yeah, Okudah I think that's kind of why they moved on from him, plus the contract situation. But, nah.
Yeah.
Okay. What you got, Mike?
I think the thing for me, the key to the game for me is attacking the linebackers. I think once you have a young linebacker in Jack Campbell, that you aren't necessarily sure that he's that star just yet, and obviously he's a backup. But what's his name? Barnes, I believe. Barnes.
Yeah, we got Barnes, Rodrigo.
Okay, so obviously there's a weakness in that as the linebackers. The front 7, the front 4 for you guys, I think, they have an elite squad as far as that's concerned. Kind of surprised that Charles Harris kind of, picked up the way that he did after leaving Atlanta, how ironic that is in itself. But Aiden Hutchinson, I think he's the real deal.
Yeah,
but I think if the Atlanta Falcons, I didn't ask you anything. Like, can I talk? Can I talk?
I just said yes. I just agree with you, man. It's talk shit.
But
see, this is what happens every single time.
You can't talk about a Michigan. You can't talk about a Michigan fan. You can't talk about a Michigan fan. But I think Aiden is the real deal. But I think the weakness for the lines in this particular game is obviously the middle of the field. You won't have Gardner Johnson there, and as well, it's like I said, I don't think the middle linebacker position is, in particular in coverage. I think that's going to be a major factor of how both teams fare in this game, because you got Kyle Pitts, you got a guy like Mac Hollins who can control the middle of the field, but most importantly, the Falcons have been using Bijan Robinson a lot more in the middle of the field, and a lot of those misdirection, motion plays. So your linebacker is going to have to be top tier in this game, and you just couple that with what just look. I call him Juggernaut, not because he got the body, but that damn head of Tyler Algier. If you see that dude head, bro, I'm talking about he got the quintessential a football head. You know those big head kids from Africa, they head be that big, but they body be. That's the type of head he got. That dude got a monster head, all right? So he gonna run through one of them linebackers' chests, and I want to see how your linebackers fare with those two combos. So Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, and Kyle Pitts, how they control the middle of the field, how your safety and your linebackers react to those combos. I think that's going to be the the bar as far as who wins and loses this game. The middle of the field, the Falcons running backs and tight ends can take advantage of Detroit, and Detroit can take advantage of, make some big plays, interceptions, all that types of play. This going to be a good game, but I think middle of the field is going to be huge for both teams.
This man literally just went on live and called this. Said Tyler Algier had a UFO head. What kind of is this?
No, you add the UFO. Man, that man. Look, trust me. I wouldn't want to get hit by that dude. That not with a helmet on. No, no sir. Craig Ironhead Haywood is what I think about when I see that dude.
Say that man use a satellite dish as a beanie. That's what you trying to say. All right. But like I said, since we had 2 Falcon keys, like I said, go ahead, King, man. You got a couple keys as far as.
So on the offensive side of the ball, I'm not worried at all. I think they're gonna use Gibbs a lot. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a day-to-day injury, but I truly do believe he's going to play. The offense is going to be the offense. That offensive line is crazy. You know what I'm saying? They keep Jared Goff clean. They give him a lot of time back there. Sam Laporta, our rookie tight end, has been showing out. So I think they're also going to attack the middle of the field themselves. But on the defensive side of the ball is the question mark for me. Is how we can deal with your running back room. That's everything lies on that battle right there when it comes to this game. The Lions going to put up points, and I think y'all guys you're going to be able to put up points as well. Another thing I'm going to be watching is for Ritter. Ritter's another guy that I want the Lions to go and get in a later round. But, you guys got Ritter, but he's young. Now, Lions have sold out season tickets. It's going to be very, very hostile. I know this is, his 8th start since he's been a rookie. So it's gonna be real loud in there. So I'm gonna be looking for false starts and things like that as well. So it's a lot of factors with a young team that you got to deal with. The Lions, on the other hand, they have been good with not getting penalties. You've seen it in the first game against Kansas City. You've seen it against the Seahawks. So the factor of this game, to me, the biggest factor of this game is who can control the middle of the field. I got to agree with you guys, man. Is who can control the middle of the field. Because we have weapons on both sides. We have some pieces in our secondaries, but the middle of the field is going to be key.
Let me go next. Right.
Go ahead.
All right. So a big factor a lot of people haven't brought up is now Dan Campbell and Arthur Smith, they have very similar, like, psychologically. All right. Now, the thing about Dan Campbell, somebody knows Dan Campbell very well. Do you know who that is, King?
Who might that be?
Ryan Nielsen.
Ooh.
Our defensive coordinator. They both was in New Orleans for some years. All right. Like we said, it's gonna be who can attack the middle of the field, and I agree with that. My concern as a Falcon fan going into this game is going to be 2 guys on defense, and you already know the first person is going to be Aiden Hutchinson. All right, I already know they're gonna line him up against Caleb McGarry. That kind of, it kind of worries me a little bit, but Arthur Smith, he know how to hide our offensive deficiency, so I'm not really too much worried about that. Another guy, like y'all brought up early, Jack Campbell, that's somebody I wanted the Falcons to draft too. I thought he was going to be a 2nd round guy, but he was a 1st round guy. I like what I saw out of him in the Kansas City game. I didn't really go back and see the game against Seattle. How did he play well in that game? If you don't mind telling me.
Oh yeah, no. When he does get on the field, like I said, Jack Campbell likes to tackle everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he got some pretty good range for a linebacker. My only thing with him is I don't know if he has the speed that he needs to be able to cover.
yeah. Like he reminds me of a Teddy Bruschi. You remember Teddy Bruschi back in the day, right?
Yep.
That's who he remind me of. So those are two guys on defense that I'm worried about. Now offense, we got to gain. We got to get pressure, and we have to get sacks. This past game against Green Bay, we did a good job pressuring Jordan Love, but I really need to see our D line getting some sacks this game. And I know it's not going to be easy against that Lions offensive line. Like I said, that Dan Campbell, Arthur Smith, they really are almost similar to same coaches because they put a lot of pride, they put a lot of heart and soul in their offensive lines. And since Dan Campbell got up there to Detroit, I already know he did a good job with y'all offensive line. Like you already know, the first draft pick he made was on Sewell.
Yeah.
So
I got a question real quick, done King. I just want to know something.
Mm-hmm.
You'll probably have more intel on this, but is that damn head coach of yours on crack or something like? Cause he act like a crackhead, bro. Like what? I ain't never seen a man got that much energy in my damn life, and he over 50 years old. That dude on something. He on steroids or something, bro.
Listen, Dan stay in shape. He stay in the gym. He stay in the gym, man.
You don't remember when he played Detroit?
Yeah. You be doing the up downs with the players. I mean, you would think when you listen to him talk, it's just muscle head. But when you actually watch a game, you'll know that it's not just all muscle head. He's smart, man. He's a smart coach. Like I said, we went on that tear when we won the 8 out of the 9 games, last season. And a lot of that was due to his coaching. So, like I said, it's going to be interesting. This game is definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah. But remember when he played as a player, like he was crazy then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insane. Yeah. I remember there was like clips I saw, like he'll run into contact. He like getting hit.
He like hitting. He's hard nosed. That's why the motto for the Detroit Lions is grit. That's where it came from.
Mm-hmm. I said, yeah, y'all a physical team, and then we're a physical team, and I think this is like our first test in the season going up against a team that's very similar to us, in my opinion.
Yeah, because Jordan Love, he don't get no respect from me. Jordan Love he's a farce to me. We live by a code here in Detroit, and it's FGB, which stands for what the first word stands for, but Green Bay. You know what I'm saying? But Jordan Love don't get no love. We beat the snot out of them twice last year, and right after this game, man, we finna get on the business again. Jordan Love, they haven't, they played y'all and lost, but beforehand they haven't played nobody. So all that talk about Jordan Love, we've been hearing in Detroit, we ain't trying to hear that. Play somebody first. It's just like the Cowboys right now. Play somebody first.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We see this all the time with the Cowboys. Oh, the Cowboys, America's team, and they might do this, that. As soon as they start playing people and taking L's, everybody turn on them. Mm-hmm. So I want to see some teams play. It's early in the season. Let's play some people.
I got a question for you too. I know I'm going against the grain of my keys to victory. You brought up another topic, a person earlier, Desmond Ridder. And you say you wanted the Lions to draft Desmond Ridder. Why do you feel that way? Why did you feel that way?
Desmond Ridder was, at the time, the way that the draft was set up, he was one of the most attainable quarterbacks for the Lions. And me, I like taller quarterbacks. I like quarterbacks who can run if they need to. And he was a young guy that I kind of liked this game when I saw. I watched a lot of quarterback scouting film during the off season. It's a channel called QB School, And I watch all of his footage, man.
Didn't
And
see those other.
yeah, I love that the footage that I saw on him. So, we never had a solid backup here in Detroit ever, never ever. And I wanted them to go and get a young guy. And at the time, he looked like the guy that was going to be available. So I wanted them to go after him. Now we got Hendon Hooker, so it's a different story. You know what I'm saying? So, but I always wanted that, and he was one of the guys that I wanted to bring here. Him, and Jalen Hurts, when Jalen Hurts was drafted, was two of the guys that I wanted the Lions to get here because we always only had Matthew Stafford, and then that was it. We never had competition in the quarterback room with Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, there's a lot of Falcons fans right now who are not sold on Desmond Ridder for some reason. So,
eighth game of his career. Quarterbacks don't get it right away. Matthew Stafford was out his first 2 years, in and out, before he became Matthew Stafford. A lot of quarterbacks, they don't get it right away. Sometimes it takes them. Jalen Hurts, who we talking about? Jalen Hurts. Look how much money this man just signed a contract for. You know what I'm saying? And this is a guy that was drafted in a later round that had a bad stigma on him coming out into the draft. And now look at him, quarterback of the Eagles. So sometimes you got to be patient.
Keyword patience.
Yes.
Shut me the hell up right there. But yeah, kind of like the key, mine I would say is necessary. Just stick with what got you to the dance, or as you say, stick with what you know. Because I know with Detroit, they already going to be anticipating this running attack like a mug. You got a line like I'm gonna kind of stick where the linebacker room is, where he said by Jack Campbell. You got a guy in Malcolm Rodriguez who's like one of those guys that's kind of like, if you don't pay attention, he's one of them guys that could take a game over in certain situations. Am I correct?
Yeah, he a mauler. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we talking about a little dude that hip tossed the offensive lineman last season. This dude, yeah, he hip tossed to the offensive lineman last season. So yeah, my man, he's something else, man.
Right. So it pretty much just kind of goes to what everybody's saying. Running the football, take care of the football, limit penalties. It's pretty much is like you say, it's going to be his first road test, like real good road test of the season. And then, like you said, a rejuvenated Detroit crowd that actually seen success with this team last year. Yeah, they're gonna be riled up.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a good test. And
the state of Michigan football has pretty much just had a whole revival now. Outside of Michigan State.
Outside of Michigan State, God dog.
Oh man, please don't bring that school up because no.
That's a mess right now. Absolute mess.
we refuse thy speak of Michigan State right now.
$95 million y'all gave Tucker. Why?
They don't. There's only one school in Michigan.
Yeah, right. One school that matters.
Yep.
All right.
We had a president who put astronauts in space, so yeah. The other school can't really say.
All right. So let's come down and get to a little bit of a personal question here, man. So, well, I know you ain't over there eating cookies at the cup.
Of course he eating. You know what that sound there. You know he eating.
Hey, I'm not eating anything. My mama just put a glass on the table.
Yeah, I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all.
I'm not eating anything right now.
See, right now. You heard him right now.
All right. So we're going to get down to a little bit of some personal questions as far as I want you, King, to grace our fans and let them know how long you've been a Lions fan and what are like some of your fond memories as far as being a Lions fan.
Been a Lions fan, man, since I was probably about 5 years old. Sitting on my pop's lap in the living room watching Lions games, watch him yell at the TV, watch him ooh and I at Barry Sanders and Herman Moore. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Herman Moore, by the way.
Herman, boy, oh boy.
He's become like a uncle to me. You know, I work with Herman Moore. He came up with something called Lions Nation Unite. And, you know, I helped them out with that, with the app. I went live with him multiple times this past year. So shout out to him, man. He's a true supporter of, you know, his city, man, and his fan base. So, yeah. But, man, Barry Sanders, you know, watching guys like Herman Moore, who made me play football growing up. I played wide receiver and safety in PAL League and in high school. So, you know, watching that growing up, it was a fun time. We did actually win a playoff game. You know, when I was watching football growing up, the one playoff game, right? Right. So it was a fun experience. And then the dark years came. And that's where I picked up the mic, you know, around 2013 and started doing this YouTube thing because there was always the negative stigma on the city of Detroit, not just with football, but everything else. So, yeah, right. So I decided to pick up the mic, man, and start doing YouTube. And it took off, man, because we had a hungry fan base and they wanted to hear something positive. And, you know, I was trying to get them there. So I've been doing this for about 10 years. And it's been a blast. And shout out to everybody in the comments, man, that said what you said. I seen the comments. And listen, man, I preach patience all the time to Lions fans. You know, that's all we can have. We haven't had the most success. But seeing Dan Campbell doing what he's doing right now with this team, the way they doing it, I've never seen here in Detroit. I'm preaching that patience, that same patience right now. You know, we lost to Seattle. A couple of fans got that anxiety back. I'm trying to teach that patience. So with a fan base, when you got a young team like you got, there are steps to building your team. Be patient with your quarterback. Be patient with your GM, your coaching staff. Let them build something that's sustainable, you know what I'm saying, for a long period of time instead of just a flash in the pan. So let them have an opportunity, giving them their just due. I know it's not going to come as fast as we wanted as fans, but, you know, like I said, let's just see how it play out. Let's see how it play out, man. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
I'm glad you said that because, like, it's Falcons fans are pretty much the same way. We lose one game, they want to fire every damn body, including the owner.
Yeah, absolutely, man. They trying to fire my defensive coordinator right now. They want to fire Aaron Glenn. They did this last year. We started 1-6. They were saying fired Aaron Glenn when he was literally out there with rookies and undrafted players, right? Then they went on the tear. Defense playing well for the whole second half of the season. Oh, now you're giving them flowers. We beat Kansas City. Nobody says nothing, right? We lose one game to the Seahawks. They talking about firing Aaron Glenn again. That's fans, man.
Y'all lost a game in overtime. Overtime. Come on, man.
After what we got 3 of our star players got injured in the first half. I'm like, come on, man.
Where have we seen this script before?
That's what I'm telling
you. Drew, you got a question for him? You got a question, Cook?
What you got, G? What you got a question for him?
He hit on a lot of the things I wanted to talk about, but I will say Matthew Stafford. I kind of want to get what you feel about Matthew Stafford, because I kind of feel like he was one of those guys that I was a huge fan of when he was there in Detroit, and I feel like he got a bad rap for not winning big games. And I kept telling people, put him with a team with a defense. As soon as he goes to the Rams, he gets a Super Bowl first season.
Well, see what?
Where have we? He done took the glasses off. He done took the glasses off.
So, these Lions fans, right? Now, I got some videos, man, and I'm a shout out before we get off, I'm gonna shout out my Instagram. And I got it on my Instagram. I got this video when he won the Super Bowl. All of my frustration came out during that video. This Lions fan base, like I said, with Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, what they're doing right now, this is the very first time I've seen the Detroit Lions build a team correctly. They never did that with Matthew Stafford. It was just him and Calvin Johnson. You know what he was finna do? They never had a running back who ran 100 yards a game. Never. His entire tenure. The offensive line, Matthew Stafford was top 3 in sacks the entire 11 to 12 years he was here.
Yep.
They never built a team sustainable for Matthew Stafford, ever. And then you gave him a defense 1 year in 2014 with Ndamukong Suh, Nick Fairley, they had a dog squad. They didn't even stay healthy that year. How do you expect this man to win? Especially in big games and playoff games. So that was my argument with Detroit Lions fans. Now, Jared Goff comes, right? We got an offensive line, top 5 offensive line. We actually going in the draft and getting players that actually mean something. So it's different now. Matthew Stafford won games based on his arm. That's it. He led the league in comebacks. He still historically leads in comeback victories. You know why you got to do that? Because they get down because the defense can't stop nobody. They get down because the running back ain't running nowhere. So guess what? Him and Calvin Johnson got to go out there. The reason why he retired early because his body was so banged up. They got to go out there and try to make magic happen. You never heard Matthew Stafford, Calvin Johnson, and then somebody else. Maybe a little golden tape for a blip, but you never heard no running back's name. When Reggie Bush was here, he was out every other game. You know what I'm saying? So Matthew Stafford, very first season, leaving the Detroit Lions, he wins a Super Bowl. That should tell you everything you need to know. And that team wasn't even as good as some of the teams that Jared Goff had, because Jared Goff had the top running back in the league. You know, but Goff was young, so I'll let him slide with that. He was very, very young. But Matthew Stafford turned Cooper Kupp into one of the best receiving seasons that you ever seen. I can't say nothing else.
We've been trying to get the Falcons fans. Matthew Stafford, I see it in the chat. They said Matthew Stafford and Matt Ryan are like close friends off the field. And I've been saying it for years. We've been trying to tell the Falcons fans when we had Matt Ryan, give him a defense, give him a complete team. You can see what he can do. And, I was happy to see Matthew Stafford do it because everybody made a big deal about Tom Brady going to the Buccaneers and winning in his first season when he had everybody on his team, AB, Gronk. He went and got everybody.
Even in Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah, but the Buccaneers, the year before they had a top 10 defense.
Right.
Exactly. So I just wanted to say, he's the GOAT. So I said, okay, so when Matthew Stafford do it, this next year do the same exact thing, you don't hear everybody singing his praises. But like I said, I think I was just happy to see Matthew Stafford do it because I hate seeing great players held down in, I won't say a bad organization, but bad situation. Yeah, bad situation.
Until Sheila Hamp just took over, it was bad. Martha Ford, 90-something years old, didn't know what the heck she was doing. You know what I'm saying? William Clay Ford didn't know what he was doing. Sheila actually knows what she's doing. Her and Spielman actually know what they're doing. And they went out and made some solid hires, and things are actually looking like a real football team right now. So, yeah, it was a bad organization. Don't even shy away from it. It was.
Hey, look.
Where have we seen this chapter?
Y'all legit had one of the best wide receivers in Calvin Johnson, and I know K Styles, he a huge Calvin Johnson fan. He been to Georgia Tech. Retire in his prime. All right, that right there should tell you how the organization was ran.
Barry Sanders.
Yeah, Barry Sanders is another one too.
Retired. They both retired at 30.
And also coaches. Like y'all had Gary Moeller on y'all staff, and he was a head coach. Gary Moeller. All right, and he didn't even want to stay in Detroit. You remember because he took over second part of that, was it the 99 season, 98, 99 season, I believe. And he didn't return back. And I'm like, that could have been y'all fortune right there. Because let's be real, Gary Moeller was a great football coach. He just couldn't stay off the alcohol in Ann Arbor. Like I said, he literally built that 97 national championship team. I understand Lloyd Carr get his flowers and stuff for that championship team, but really those guys were recruited by Gary Moeller.
Yeah.
So But yeah, man, it's like the same thing. Like we said, we talked about Matt Ryan. Like there was I know I put it in the chat earlier for you guys, but there was a video of Matt Ryan had an interview with somebody, and like Matt Ryan legit said he's jealous of the team that we have here in Atlanta now because they literally got guys all across the board on both sides of the ball. They didn't have that when we here in Atlanta.
It's balance, man. It's balance.
And then it's also about bringing in personnel up top that has a vision. I mean, like you said, at the end of the day, like my man King here said, man, certain coaches fit certain cultures. And in order to set a culture, you have to set a foundation. And like you said, I think Dan Kev will be on that speed, but like you said,
he is.
Another person.
But the thing is, when you have a team full of football players that's willing to fight for their coaches, regardless of the scope, regardless of the record, that's step one. Step two, you build on that. And like I said, this is where both teams right now. That's why when he's King is giving us his stories about the Detroit Lions. That's why I said, man, it's like the parallel of two franchises that literally are more alike than we damn realize.
Yeah.
And the GM that y'all have too, Brad Holmes. I did a scoop on Brad Holmes back in 2020, 2021 when I was doing my GM search. We hired our GMs around the same time. Y'all got Brad because I wanted Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes was like my top 3 or top 5. He was in my top 5 of GMs that I wanted the Falcons to grab. Yeah. It was him. It was the guy from Baltimore. I forgot his name. Terry Fontenot, and then the guy that was in Kansas City. Like those were and then Jeff Ireland in New Orleans. So those are my guys that I wanted to bring here to Atlanta. And like y'all got Brad Holmes, I'm like, oh, he about to go out there and turn that whole franchise around.
Yeah, man. Brad is up and down. You know, right now he's in the doghouse with me simply because of that first pick of this recent draft.
Y'all wanted Jalen Carter and Bijan.
Jalen Carter he changes your franchise. He's not a piece that you add to your team. He changes your entire defense. This boy is going to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's been nothing but a monster since he touched the football field. Starting in camp, not just running through double teams like it's nothing. Like this dude is a monster.
Yeah, y'all need that interior.
We need that right now.
I want to know why Jude got that smirk on his face. That's what I want to know right now.
Yeah. My thing is y'all need it. Yeah, my thing is like y'all need some interior help on that D line because, like I said, like Aiden Hutchinson, he can't do it all by himself.
That's the problem. Yeah, and we just got Hutchinson out there. You know, Houston was big for us last year, but he hurt. He out. So, like I said, we need something in the middle. And right now, what we got, Lynn McNeil is not doing it. Jalen Carter changes everything. Instantly. You instantly got to double team him. Instantly.
All right, Jude, man, I see the smirk right there. What you got playing?
I'm just smirking with everything he's saying. I'm like, I guess he's been tuned in because we've been saying everything you saying, you reiterating everything. We promised we didn't talk about this before the show, but everything you saying is like what we were saying before the draft. I was banging the table for Jordan Davis. I was banging the table for Jalen Carter. And if you go watch our previous shows, I said, watch. Jordan Davis gonna end up a Philadelphia Eagle. I said those teams that value the trenches, that's where these guys gonna end up. And sure enough, back-to-back years, you got Jordan Davis going to Philly, then turn around the next year, go to Jalen Carter, go to Philly.
Let me say this, Drew. They got everybody that I wanted on that Eagles team. First of all, let's start here. Look, this is how far it goes back. First of all, when Fat Patricia was here, he got rid of my dog, my boy, my homie. Literally my homie. Not on no football fan stuff. Like literally talk to Darius Slay. There's probably run some 2K24 with him. So you run him and his wife out of town. He goes to Philly. and he's right back in season form. You know why? Because they have a defensive line over there. Over here, we didn't have one. Trey Flowers came over here, got the bag, and didn't play a game. You know what I'm saying? So you get Darius Slay, and you turn around, you go get Jordan Davis. We traded up to get Jamison Williams, another offensive player for golf, instead of getting something for the middle of the D. You had a chance to get Jordan Davis. You had a chance to get Carter, who's also over there. We actually wanted linebacker from Georgia.
Quay.
Not Quay, but
Quay
y'all,
Walker.
not Trey Walker. You talking about Nola Smith?
Nicole.
Yeah, yes.
Nola Smith.
We wanted him. Didn't happen. We send DeAndre Swift over there, who I did want to get rid of, because I knew we suffer injuries in the running back room. We need depth. DeAndre Swift, he has a career game for the Eagles. Just had a career game for the Eagles. And now he's over there. All of my players are in Philly right now.
A lot of you sound like a typical. I'm not saying this to be mean or be mad, but it's a lot of Falcons fans or Bulldogs fans, and so the Eagles, they got a lot of Bulldog players on their team, and you had some of these guys, they wrote letters saying that I denounced my fandom as a Falcon fan, and now I'm going to be a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles, and we're like, okay, well, don't come back.
Like they literally are the top teams in college. That's where you go to look for talent, and they got all that talent over. They got so much depth over there. They got potential guys that could be stars in this league as depth players on their team right now. They got so much depth on that defense over there. That's ridiculous. And I'm over here struggling with a D line where I only got Hutchinson. Yeah, I'm mad at Brad Holmes right now. I am utterly upset.
I didn't realize we had so much in common, King. Like the Falcons, the parallels, as Six Man was saying, we more alike than different. The year that after the Super Bowl, we could have went and drafted in the trenches. We go out and get Calvin Ridley. So just like y'all got traded up to get Jamison Williams, we do the same exact thing. When we had our last GM here, we did the same thing. Every year was, let's get a wide receiver. Let's get another wide receiver. Let's build the trenches.
But we literally passed up on TJ Watt and drafted Tat McKinley.
Ooh. See.
Hey, listen, don't feel bad. We passed up on Aaron Donald, man.
We see. Hold on, wait a minute. We was having a good show, and then
You had to bring that bullshit up attack. You could have left that attack alone. Leave him in the trash can, okay? Let him decompose in the trash can. We don't want to talk about him no more.
I'm sitting here and I'm looking back. Now I got to replay 2017 draft, and I'm looking at Tat. Tat wasn't worth a damn. We go over here, we get Calvin Ridley the next year, where we could, you know what?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. What the heck?
Sometimes we got a stigma here in Detroit where we say, stop trying to be the smartest man in the room and just do what makes sense, bro. Like these dudes are talented and you know it. Just draft them, bro. What are you doing all this extra stuff?
Make it make sense. That's all. Just make it. We ever have saying that over here. We just say make it make sense. All right, just make it make sense. We don't need no damn Calvin Ridley when you got Matt Ryan and Julio and all these weapons. That's just the same thing that we got. Like we had an issue with getting pressure. No, we get a damn wide receiver. Okay, we couldn't get to the fucking quarterback, and you worried about drafting damn Calvin Ridley. Are you like? Are we serious? And look where he at now. Somewhere else.
That was a draft. That was a draft Vita Vea was in. We should have got. We could have traded down and got Vita Vea.
I wanted Buda Baker that year. I wanted Buda Baker that year that badly. But like you said, all these parallels, like I said, at the end of the day, man, both of these franchises are heading in the right direction. Like you said, everybody's getting back to the basics, which is good for football because I'm so sick of hearing about air raid offenses.
Oh my God.
Every year is failing, but we still up here trying to recreate the damn Ram legacy. Like, bro, what are we doing? And the crazy part about the Rams legacy, they actually ran the damn ball, but everybody trying to beat the Rams. That's the craziest stuff that I like. Like I said, it's just all the teams that we look at, all the great offenses that we look at. People always forget the fact that they all every last one of them had top running game. The San Francisco 49ers, the Dallas Cowboys of the 90s. Every last one of the teams had damn good running backs, damn good offensive linemen, but we try to pretend like the the offensive line and the running backs don't have anything to do with anything. Like, and
That
see, this
99
is where
Rams offense.
that's what I'm saying. They
That's
look.
fault.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like every team that you've seen that's been labeled one of the greatest offenses, Peyton Manning. We can keep going on. John Elway and the Broncos, great running games. But we try to discredit the running game and the offensive line. This is what football has always been about. It's always about the trenches. If you can't play in the trenches, you're not going to consistently win championships or consistently go into the playoffs. It's not happening.
You know, I got a recipe to winning in the NFL, and the recipe is you got to be great on at least one side of the ball and good on the other. Because we've seen a defensive heavy great team in the Ravens go out and do it, you know, in years, and you see offensively great teams go out and do it. So, like I said, you got to be great at least on one side of the football and at least good on the other. Where that good side of the football, they can at least keep up. You know what I'm saying? Try to keep up because I mean, man, you got to have some type of balance on these teams. You become a you know one trick pony, man. You can't win in this league. You gotta. I don't care if you put up. You for instance, we just did this last game. Seahawks. Both teams put up points, a lot of points, high scoring game. But the Lions, we couldn't stop no doggone body. Somebody defense got to stop the other team in order for the team to win.
Exactly.
So, you know, you got to have at least a competent defense.
Mm.
And, you know, we could have had a dominant defense right now, Brad Holmes. Why you do this to me, man? We could have had C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Sutton with Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. Another great hair in my beard, man.
I got about 10 of them on the top of my head right now, just thinking about Tat McKinley already. So yeah, I feel you on that.
That's real stressful, y'all. That's stressful.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
So,
but go ahead, Don.
no, I was gonna ask him a question. I was gonna ask who is his all-time favorite Detroit Lions player?
Oh, it's Barry.
Come on. You know he was gonna say that. You know he was gonna say that. Everybody. That's everybody's favorite.
I love Megatron just as much. I love Megatron just as much. Those two players, watching them live, I've never seen nothing like that before. Like unstoppable, like Calvin Johnson catching the ball on 3 and 4 defensive backs. You know what I'm saying? Like I never seen that. And when I started watching football, I'm watching Barry Sanders run through crowds and then just pop up out of nowhere and take it to the house. Like, bro, I've never seen that type of stuff before. So that's easy answer for me.
He had no choice. He had absolute garbage. So he had no choice.
Here come about 300-pound dudes after as soon as they say hike. So he had to get up out of there, man.
but
Mike Vick. Now you want to talk Falcons? I've never seen a quarterback do what I've never seen a quarterback do what Mike Vick did ever. They can try with this great value version of Lamar Jackson, bro. That's a lot of these young guys. A lot of these young guys from this new school be talking that Lamar Jackson crap. I've seen that before, bro. I've seen Mike Vick run around like crazy and then literally just flick the ball goes 60 yards easy. I've never seen an arm throw a football that easy like that. Like this dude was different, man. and he ended his career over some damn puppies. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, it's a dang puppies.
I mean, it is what it is, bro. I've never seen nothing like that, man. I love Mike Vick, man, when he played. Man, Mike Vick.
All right. Well, my favorite Lions player, and it ain't Barry Sanders, and it's not Megatron. I'm gonna shock y'all with this one. All right.
Is it a Mexican player?
Jeff Backus.
Oh my God, you took it back.
Oh, you talking about it was the center or the center?
Jeff Backus. No, he was a tackle.
Yeah.
Backus, why am I thinking?
He played in North
No,
Cross.
I'm thinking about Rayola. I'm thinking about Rayola. That's what I'm thinking about.
But Backus is from Georgia. Like he's from. He's
No,
from Georgia,
I was thinking about Rayola. I was thinking about Rayola. That's what I was thinking.
But Backus from Georgia, but he did go to Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
Yeah.
But like he was a great tackle for Detroit.
Yeah. Yeah, and that'd be the problem. We had like one or two, and then the rest be garbanzo beans.
Man, I'll go next, man. We taking out Megatron. We taking out Barry Sanders. Like I said, football wise, one of my favorite line players I used to love watching was Sean Rogers. You talk about the
Big Sean,
Big Sean boy. That right there. He looked slow as hell.
Yeah.
But when that ball snapped, you better not blink. Have you ever seen a hog eat it slop? That's how he was with them offensive line.
Yeah, that's a big dude. That's a big dude, man.
Yeah,
mine's ironically Herman Moore. I was a big Herman Moore fan. It was him and Barry for a good minute, but like I said, I like to see Herman Moore. He kind of remind me of like a Michael Haynes for the Falcons when he played. His lean guys, a deep threat, can go over the middle. It's like he was just a complete receiver for me. So Herman Moore was the guy I liked to work.
And he just got to the next stage for voting for the Hall of Fame.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's back in the votings again. So we'll see what happened, man. He got some stats, man. That's second to none. And like I said, he's played with 10 quarterbacks, man. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, to be able to do it throughout all those chaotic years, I gotta give him respect. He think it's cliche every time I say it, but I tell him all the time, bro, you the reason why I started playing football. You know what I'm saying? And he swear I'd just be cliche about it. But shout out to him more.
All right. What you got, G?
So the obvious would be, Calvin Johnson, Barry Sanders, but I'm gonna go off the radar a little bit. So King, I actually grew up in the 757 VA, Virginia. So I don't know if you remember this cornerback, Dre Bly.
Heck yeah. He's our defensive back coach. I just talked to him at camp. He's the defensive back coach right now.
Yeah, Dre Bly was one of my favorite. He was off the radar. A lot of people don't talk about him at that cornerback position, but he was the guy. If he got his hands on the ball, he was on that Greatest Show on Turf team that won the Super Bowl, but he was kind of under the radar. He's not a guy that gets talked about a lot, but he was a really good cornerback and one of my favorite all-time corners, especially for the Detroit Lions. But every team he played with, I followed him because he grew up in that same area, went to high school in the same area I went to high school. But he's definitely one of those guys that I think is under the radar. A lot of people don't talk about him, but he was one of those guys, man. He can make a play. You throw the ball, he was one of those guys. I'm gonna read the quarterback's eyes, and if he put that ball in harm's way, he's gonna take it to the house. So he was one of those guys I was a huge fan of.
Yeah, Dre, that's my guy, man.
Oh man, so I'm glad y'all we going down this memory lane of line. I got a question for King right here. Between 2003 and 2006, we saw the Lions draft 3 wide receivers in the first round. For those that may not know who I'm talking about, Charles Rogers,
Stop it, man.
Mike Williams, Roy Williams.
He shaking his
That's
head.
why. This is why I said that these two franchises are parallel because we went through this similar situation. Now,
no, go ahead.
no, go ahead, man. Go ahead, man.
Any smart team with common sense know that you build from the trenches outward.
Yes.
Your offensive line makes your quarterback, your running back, your receiver successful. Your defensive line makes everybody behind them successful. You start from the trenches. The Lions just, for the life of me, could not get that for 2 decades of me watching them before now. Now we built from the trenches, and I hate that I got to give these folks some credit, but the Quinn Trisha era, Bob Quinn and Fat Patricia, they started the trench build. I got to give them credit for that. You know, we got guys on this O line like Taylor Decker, you know, Frank Ragnows and stuff like that of the world. They started that at least. So I got to give them that. They understood that. They just made bad selections on the defensive side of in the trenches. But you start from the trenches out. And the Lions, receiver, tight end, receiver, tight end. Same thing all the time. Then we go get a running back in the second round that can't play more than 2 games a season. It was the same recipe over and over and over. So
well, I'm trying to remember, was that Kevin Jones?
Man, Kevin Jones, Michael LaShore. Man, we had some bad running backs over here, bro. Michael LaShore was a weed head, man.
Man, I forgot about Michael. Oh, Lord, dude. I wouldn't have drafted him just for his name.
Josh, how'd you bring that up? Good Lord.
I apologize. Because I know right around those times, the most reliable guy that y'all had at that time was what was it, John Henson, the kicker. We done went down that road.
Jason Hanson is the greatest of all time, bro. That dude, man, literally the few games we won came off of his leg most of the time.
Wow.
That is crazy. Like I said, just talking to you, I did not realize that we done went through the same.
Y'all had at least y'all had good tight ends, you know, in y'all past. Y'all had Gonzalez. Bro, we had Pettigrew who couldn't catch. Then we went around and got Eric Ebron who couldn't catch. So it's like,
just stop. Just don't. But y'all just need to stop and just focus on defense. That's it.
Like I said, you done been through the trials and tribulations now, and now you seeing the fruits of the labor. So we can breathe now. We can breathe.
All my life I had to fight.
Oh man, bro. Hey, look, we're gonna go ahead and wind it down tonight, man. Hey man, this was a fun one right here, man. King, hey man, anytime.
Oh yeah, y'all gonna have to get rid of me, man, because I'm gonna be around.
Let us know. And that's in the chat. They love you, man. Hey, look, hey, go ahead and plug yourself, man. Let the people know where they can find you.
So you can find me on YouTube mainly at Everything King, also on Twitter at Everything King. Those are my most 2 active, and then on Instagram is I_amking77x.
Hey, y'all make sure y'all show my brother over here some love, man. He literally had a confessional over here.
I need a drink, man.
All right, so before we leave, do you have a score prediction for this game?
Ooh, man, I think it's going to be high scoring. I'm going to say something like 27-31.
27-31 Lions?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else want to do it?
Hell no. I'm not
going to say it like this. This is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, because I was almost close last week, because I said 28-24 Falcons, and the Packers did score 24 points, but we didn't score 28, but we still won, so that won't really matter. So I'm not going to do a score prediction for this game. What I'm going to say is whoever runs the ball more, whoever has the most rushing yards, whoever has the longest time of possession is going to win. I'm telling you, the game is going to be won on the ground in this game.
Shoot. I'm gonna give you a score prediction. The Falcons win 13-10.
Oh, you can think it's gonna be that type of dog.
Hey, you know what? I would love to see that. I would love to see a defensive game.
To see a defensive game with these teams, man, I'd be surprised.
Hey, look, hey, them be the ones right there that them be the hardest ones to win right there. Yeah. We know that. I give it 13-10.
I'm not doing it. Y'all can do it. I don't like looking stupid, so I'm not. Falcons win, okay? Falcons win.
My score will be 28-21 Falcons.
Okay.
28-21.
All right. So, hey, man, till next time, people, man, like I said, y'all continue to support Heavy Hitters Live over here. Like I said, make sure you follow my brother down here, King. Till next time, people, we ain't here to play.
Oh, no.
We here to stay.
Oh, yeah. Nigga.
You ain't got to go home.
But you gotta get the hell out of here. Oh, yeah.
Deuces.
Play your part. Play your part.
Yes, sir.